Let's talk about everything that we now know for magnificent Maestros. Oh boy, make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more honest content. So we got our reveal drop video on magnificent Maestros, and this set is kind of interesting in terms of its structure. Their emphasis on the things that they're aiming for in this set are a little bit shifted from what they were planning to do with the first set. You know, the first set's key points are obviously, you know, the heroes and the legends. You know, you want to be able to integrate those, but also, you know, they're selling you the prismatic summons box on top of that. Well, gears are kind of shifting with this one where, you know, you're basically going up with the anti-heroes here that have also, I mean, they've had their moments in the show to be good or bad, but also they want to sell you another core set out of Japan, combining it into this one. And that's been something that the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG has been doing for a little while, where it's easier for them to integrate products from the OCG into our side of things just to make things a little bit easier. So this set is going to include 125 different cards, and I love that they had to note here that this excludes rarities. If you were to count different rarities, I assume that this set would be a lot bigger, which is kind of interesting. Now, your release date for this is going to be Europe, Middle East, Africa, Oceania will be November 12th, and then all of America will be the 13th, which is fine. And each box is going to include 3 booster packs, 5 cards per pack, plus 1 additional pack of 3 additional cards. Now, that's pretty straightforward, but it's also, this is your holiday set. All right, the first one's to kind of, you know, get you excited for this. They're pulling you in for the second push through for this in the later half of the year, just to make sure that, you know, you're good to go. Now, the biggest thing in this set is, dun 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 dun, this is where we are going to be getting the absolutely broken Revolution booster. So many of us, so I was kind of predicting, I was like, you know, there's no other place for Konami to take Revolution Booster. What are they going to do? Make us wait until next year for the possibility to be able to slot in, you know, the Revolution Booster cards? It's not a good look on Konami's behalf to want to push this into a maze set next March or February to get people excited for it. It just was not logical on their behalf. So this includes the new Unchained, the new Toon cards, and the new Witchcrafter Madame Renona. All 3 of these decks, and I will say it again for those of you in the back that don't seem to understand this, all 3 of these decks are very, very good. All right. Unchained is unfortunately probably the weakest of the 3. Does not mean that Unchained does not perform when it needs to, but I want to be very clear here. The way that this set has worked, and, you know, the way that this is, Unchained is not the greatest, but it's still very good. Which brings me to, you know, Witchcrafter. Witchcrafter is the deck that, if you know your ins and outs of the way that this deck plays, it is absolutely a monster. It generates so much advantage. All of your mode changing effects are basically free because of the field spell. It is just an absolute terror watching this deck actually unload and do exactly what it needs to. And then there's Toons. As many of you know, Toons have been the absolute terror in the OCG. The deck is so crazy good at what it does. Now, obviously, we did start off with like the Blue Eyes Toon stuff really kind of mattering, but it's kind of sad because the Blue Eyes Toon Ultimate Dragon is such a cool card, but it's just become better to optimize the deck and not really focus too much on, you know, like the Blue Eyes Ultimate Toon Dragon, which is kind of going to be sad actually, because it means you're going to lose a little bit of value out of the potential hollow sides of the upgrades, which is kind of sad actually. But, you know, at the same time, the fact that we are getting the 3 of these built into this means that you're going to have to... Revolution Booster is probably going to be a little bit more I mean, it's still going to be open the exact same because people are going to be chasing the Grandmaster rares inevitably, but there's still the question of, you know, how much of this is going to be the correct amount to make sure I can get everything. Pre-orders for this set are going to be bad. We also did get to see, the first look at 3 TCG full arts out of this set. We got to see the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, which, I hate to say it, man, but it is not as exciting as you would expect. Which is kind of sad, actually, because I just think it's too much for the card to be kind of throwing in on this art and actually, you know, trying to make it look good. Unchained Soul Lord of Yama looks as good as you can make a more modernized card. And then Witchcrafter Vice Madam, I actually think looks kind of good here as well. Obviously, it's just for the Toon Blue Eyes just looks like a giant blob thrown on the art. And unfortunately, you know, you don't really get much more excitement other than that. I want to be excited for it. I really, really do. But it's just not great. Now, we got an entire list of foil exciting cards here. Let's talk about your foil upgrades. So there's going to be a lot of stuff dedicated to Toon cards here, which is to be expected. So Toon Barrel Dragon, getting a foil upgrade is a choice on Konami's behalf. Toon Buster Blader, he finally needed it. I mean, we can sit here and say it didn't, but I mean, the inevitability is it did. The Fairy Tale Wick Cat, Fairy Tale Ball, so we're getting some foil upgrades to those. Fallen Paradise of the Sacred Beast, Angelecki Problem, and Angelecki Enlisted. You know, it's interesting that these would have been cards that we might have actually seen in the tins this year, and they're just tossing them in here as foil upgrades already. So I am actually happy to see Angelecki already receiving, you know, those major upgrades. Like, that's kind of cool. We're getting Maku the Magical Mist. That's an interesting one. Makes me wonder if they're going to toss the Summon Skull in here. Madolche Ticket finally getting Neo the Magic Swordsman. What? Really? Okay, the Big Saturn, the Despair from the Dark, Unifrog, Berserk Gorilla, and Magical Scientist? What is up with this list of reprints? I mean, like, yeah, Berserk Gorilla is really good. We all have that one friend that really likes that card, but also the fact that, you know, we're getting, I don't know, Berserk Gorilla is the interesting one, but Magical Scientist, I mean, to be fair, I guess the last set we did get 6 cents. So in this set, if they're porting in, you know, Magical Scientist as, you know, the upgrade, sure. Now, reprints, we do get Toon Bookmark, Toon Blackluster Soldier, Toon Dark Magician, Red Eyes Toon Dragon, Toon Table of Contents, and Satalar Alpha. Everything, I mean, in theory, that you need for Toons. But once again, my question remains here, you know, how easily to get are these reprints? You know, how well will I be able to get Toon Bookmarks out of this set? Because if they're hard to pull, you're going to have some issues on that front. But I mean, looking at this, it's an interesting list. And then we have your map to just remind people how this works. There's 18 new Grandmaster rares, 100 of each per region. And then, of course, 1,800 for the Americas, 1,800 for, you know, Europe. They are going to be denoted by, the European versions will be denoted by the E, which will give you a little bit of an indicator as to, you know, which regions are from what. But it's cool. I think these Grandmaster rares, somebody's going to pull one of these and they're going to just, their collection's going to be a lot better. But price checking a lot of this is going to be a nightmare in the future, to say the least. But this gives you everything that we now have for this set. Am I not as excited for this one as I am for the first one? I mean, like, I'm happy to get Toon cards. I really am. But there's, I don't know, these cards in comparison to the first batch, I think the first batch is cooler. Like, it's Yugi's cards, man. But hey, we all get to play Toons and FTK now. Isn't that going to be fun? I can't wait. Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and tell me about how you're all about to just take the master course on how to be the greatest Toon expert that you could ever be. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.